Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday morning, the morning after Arsenal's 2-0 defeat by Liverpool in the Premier League at the Emirates. First of all, apologies if I look awful and I'm going to croak my way through this, but I am knackered. Late one last night, sort of got back from the game about 1:30, ended up falling asleep on the sofa, and then my son woke me up about 5:15, whatever it was. So yeah, feeling it a bit today. I'm getting too old for this, I've got to say. But yeah, I didn't get time to do a ratings video after the game last night from the Emirates because there was so much going on. So I thought I'd talk today with look a lot more in depth into last night's defeat, give my player ratings at the end. So if you are interested in them, they are coming. They'll be at the end of this video. So the defeat, I mean, look, it's disappointing. You don't want to lose any game, obviously, but how do I put it? Look, it wasn't a disaster, was it? I mean, I think. Look, Liverpool are better than Arsenal, no doubt about it. It's just a fact. And what I wanted to see last night, I was really intrigued how Arsenal performed last night. You know, could they lay a glove on Liverpool? Could they hurt them? We've seen Liverpool turn over Arsenal so comfortably in the past, home and away. And I just wanted to see if Arsenal had something about them last night and how they would approach the game. And to be honest, I thought for the first half especially, they were very, very good. They competed. I didn't cause Liverpool too many problems at the back, but you know, it was a really competitive game between two good teams. I thought, you know, Liverpool didn't offer much. They had that early Van Dijk header from a corner, and then right at the end, Mane had that sort of half chance when he got the wrong side of Ben White, but put his shot way over. But other than that, I thought Arsenal competed really, really well. And it just looked like at half-time, I was talking to some other journalists downstairs in the press room, and it was that kind of performance that made me think, you know, if Arsenal do go into the Champions League next season, they can play like that against the very best. And that's what Liverpool are. They're not just the best in England. You know, they're arguably the best team in Europe at the moment. If they can compete like that against Liverpool, then you know they wouldn't get themselves embarrassed in the Champions League next season, and they can show that they can compete. And where Arsenal were not so long ago, I think there's certainly a lot of positives to take. The fact was that yesterday's game was decided by very, very fine margins, and as it was against City on New Year's Day, and those are the only two defeats Arsenal suffered in the last 11 games was against City and Liverpool, and they weren't outclassed in either of them, which you know is a positive thing. But ultimately, they just fell short in the key, crucial areas of the game last night. And it was a kind of indicator of just exactly still how far Arsenal have to go to be able to compete with the very, very best, which Liverpool are. They had their big chance. They didn't take it with Martin Odegaard when Alisson made a fantastic save. That was on 51 minutes. 54 minutes, they're behind because of a mistake. Well, a couple of mistakes, really. But ultimately, Aaron Ramsdale should have saved Jota's shot. There's no doubt about it. He was beating at his near post. He knows he should have done better. It was clear he should have done better. And you kind of look at there, and it's the tale of two goalkeepers, isn't it? At one end, Alisson does his job superbly. First of all, he stands up really well to Lacazette. He doesn't dive in and let Lacazette go around him. And then when Odegaard gets the ball, again, he makes himself so big, gets his arm up, stops it, keeps Liverpool level. Had that gone in, I honestly think Arsenal would have gone on and won that game if they'd have got themselves in front yesterday. It didn't, and then 3 minutes later, Liverpool take advantage, score the goal themselves, and that was the difference. Just in the crucial areas at both ends of the pitch, Liverpool just still have that edge on Arsenal. They have that know-how. They know how to keep themselves in the game, and they know how to win a game at the very top. And at the moment, Arsenal just aren't there yet. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that because that's just where Arsenal are. This is a rebuild. You can't expect them to go bang suddenly be up beating Liverpool all the time. It's just not going to happen. They had their chance yesterday, could have beaten them, but they didn't take it. And that is the crucial thing at the moment, and it was just a kind of symbol of where Arsenal are right now. But it absolutely wasn't a disaster yesterday playing that game. I didn't come away from the Emirates feeling absolutely demoralised. I came away disappointed. Of course, you want Arsenal to win every game. A defeat is never nice, but I thought they showed certainly more than enough in that first half, especially that they are absolutely on the right track and they are closing the gap. It's not closed yet. It was never going to be in such a short space of time, but they are. It does feel like they're on the right track. And when you look at Liverpool, Liverpool are the very best. Like I said, we're not talking about just the best team in England. We're arguably talking about the best team in Europe right now. That was 11. I think it was 9 wins. 9 wins in a row in the Premier League. Moved to within 1 point at Manchester City. They're absolutely flying, and ultimately they got the job done when they needed to in the second half. They know how to get themselves over the line, and that's where Liverpool are. And you look at what Jurgen Klopp did in the second half, just before the Jota's goal. He was about to bring on Firmino and Salah. Arsenal, when they're chasing a game, you end up with Eddie Nketiah against Virgil van Dijk. That's not a criticism of Nketiah, it's just where Arsenal are right now. They are not at the standard of Liverpool, and for them to beat Liverpool, everything has to go right. They can't make any errors at the back, and they have to take their chances when they come. And they didn't do that last night. They missed their big chance when they could have got themselves in the front, and then they made a really crucial error at the back, and Liverpool punished them. But it wasn't a disastrous performance by any means. I certainly came away with it feeling fairly positive about where Arsenal are, just as I did when Arsenal lost to Manchester City on New Year's Day. I thought Arsenal played better against Man City. They certainly caused City a lot more problems. Whether that is down to the fact that Liverpool defensively are better than Manchester City, it might be. I mean, Virgil van Dijk yesterday I thought was immense. Joel Matip I thought was absolutely immense yesterday as well. And it's just where Arsenal are. And Mikel, speaking after the game, says, I don't think the result properly reflects the performance of the team from box to box. I think in many moments we were a better team. We did everything we planned. The way the boys performed, they showed their courage to play the way they wanted to play. And with the intensity and the understanding of the game, they really raised their level today. But unfortunately, these games are won in the boxes. And that was the critical difference. And it was. I don't think there's anything really much more to say about it. The boxes were the difference at both ends of the pitch. Arteta continued after he said, look, I think we have closed the gap a lot, but it wasn't enough, because when we went through the door and they went through the door, they were the ones who scored the goals. I'm not happy with the goals we conceded, but it's part of the game, and when you have those chances, you have to take them and get something out of it. And he's absolutely spot on. You look at Liverpool's second goal. Obviously, it was another error. It was sort of Saka's clearance. Cedric had gone down the line to try and get on the ball from Saka. Saka's ball got blocked. It bounced into the space that Cedric had vacated. Robertson got in. He crossed. Brilliant finish from Firmino. He was in the right place in the 6-yard box to score. But you look at that chance, and it was very much like the chance in the first half that Arsenal had when Martinelli skinned Trent down the wing, got in, whipped that ball in that beat Alisson at the near post. But there was no one there. You know, Lacazette wasn't in the right place. He was too deep again, and Liverpool managed to get the ball away. Whereas Firmino was in the right place at the right time to sniff out the goal. Lacazette wasn't in the first half. And again, that's not a massive criticism of Lacazette. It's just where Arsenal are. At the very key moments, they don't quite have the players at the moment to be able to be a match for Liverpool. Everything has to go right for them to beat them, and it just wasn't quite there yesterday. But as I said, I'm not feeling too downbeat, and I'm sure I'd love to get your views. How are you feeling after last night's defeat? Was it a sort of chastening defeat in terms of the gap, or did you look at it and think, you know what, that gap has come in, we're heading in the right direction? Please do let me know what you think below on Arsenal's performance and how you kind of feel this morning after the game. Mikel Arteta wasn't a happy man in the press conference after the match. Not so much about the Arsenal performance. In fact, he was quite happy about the Arsenal performance, as I've already gone over. But he really launched into one right at the end of the press conference, out of nowhere. Really, it was almost going to be the last question of the press conference. It was James Bench of CBS who just asked about the short turnaround ahead of the game against Villa on Saturday. Arsenal obviously playing last night, Wednesday night, and then the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. And Mikel just went into it, you know, he banged the table with his hand. He was really sort of sarcastic. Thank you. That's what he said. He said, thank you so much to the Premier League to do that. And they've done it again when we play Chelsea and Manchester United, which is next month. And again, that is Chelsea on the Wednesday night, Manchester United Saturday lunchtime kickoff. So if they want to give them any advantage, I say to them today, thank you very much for doing that. He was then asked, are the players going to be fit for Saturday? He says, yes, 100%. Don't worry. The players will be there on Saturday with the energy. They will sleep, eat well. But thank you so much to the Premier League for putting the fixtures like this. It's very, very helpful. He was very, very sarcastic, as you can see. But he was really angry, you could tell. And Mikel's usually such a cool customer. He normally keeps himself very measured and calm in these press conferences. But it kind of let his guard down a little bit yesterday. You could see how angry he was. Whether that was more sort of frustration on the result, and he kind of just let it out with this. And he was asked if Arsenal have raised this question to the Premier League about their frustrations at the scheduling, and he said yes, absolutely, because it's not fair what they've done. It's always Sky or BT, this or that, but the only one that is affected is Arsenal, and the only one that I care about. And the only thing that I care about and what we care about is Arsenal and for Arsenal. It's not fair. Interesting, I think. I mean, my views on it are, look, I think he's certainly got a merit in his complaint. It's not ideal playing Wednesday night, Saturday lunchtime. It could easily have been avoided. But we know the Premier League, the TV companies don't care. And it's not this time. It's not the first time something like this has happened, and it won't be the last time. Like I said, Arsenal have got to do it again next month. Mikel pointed that out with the Chelsea and Man United game. But look, at the end of the day, as much as you do want it to be, you do want to have plenty of recovery time and that sort of thing. Arsenal haven't played that many games this season, have they? And I think you look at yesterday, between the Carabao Cup semi-final against Liverpool, which was on January the 20th, something like that, and yesterday, which was March 16th, Arsenal have played 7 games. In the same time frame, Liverpool have played 13. So I don't think Mikel's going to get too much sympathy from Jurgen Klopp or from his peers and other colleagues about this, because Arsenal haven't had many games to manage this season. They went out the FA Cup at the 3rd round. They've only had the league to concentrate on. I just don't think he's going to get much sympathy out of it. So while he does have some merit, his complaints do have some merit, I just think it would have been better keeping quiet on this one. I'm not sure that sort of outburst was warranted. And kind of as I was watching it, I was thinking, is this a first little sign perhaps that he's feeling the pressure? And you could tell he was frustrated at the fact that Arsenal hadn't got the points against Liverpool. I don't know, but I just don't. It didn't feel like the right time to really have that pop, and you guys might think otherwise and think he's well within his rights to stand up and protect Arsenal. And of course he is. He's a manager. He can say what he wants about it, and if he wanted to make his point, then that's what he did. But for me, I don't know. It just felt like, given the lack of games Arsenal have had this season, how relatively comfortable they've been playing the same team pretty much week in, week out. It's just like sometimes you just got to suck it up and accept it. And I don't know. It just felt like Arteta maybe didn't need to say that yesterday and show the frustration that he did. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There was certainly plenty of positives to take last night. I thought I've already gone over some of them at the start of this video, but I mean, Gabriel Martinelli, I've got to talk about it. He was so good last night in that first half, even in the second half. He had Trent on toast for large periods. I mean, that run that I talked about that ended up in that cross going across the 6-yard box in the first half was just brilliant. And then that bit at the start of the second half, that play he did down the left when he beat 2 or 3 Liverpool players, got in again, sent the ball in. He tried to pick out Odegaard, didn't find him, unfortunately, and Liverpool again cleared the danger away. But the quality he showed down the left-hand side to beat his man, he just caused Trent so many problems all night long. I mean, I thought Trent did pretty well as well up against him, because it was a really, really tricky game. I mean, Gary Lineker, I saw a tweet during the game that Martinelli was going to be world class. I mean, we know exactly how much Jurgen Klopp likes him, and Jurgen Klopp stopped himself from talking about Martinelli in the press conference afterwards. Yesterday, you could tell he wanted to, but he was like, I'm not going to do that again. But it was just a really top performance. And when you look at that from Martinelli, that's why I just don't come away from that game last night feeling too downbeat, because I look at the talent that Arsenal have, I look at the young players that Arsenal had, the improvement that they're showing, the courage that they're showing against the very top teams. There's so many reasons to be optimistic right now. Yes, it was the defeat. Yes, it's disappointing, but there was, I thought Martinelli kind of summed up the improvement that Arsenal have shown in the last few months. And when you got players playing like that, you're going to get better. There's still a lot to do for Arsenal. We know that they've got to improve up front. They will improve up front in the summer. It's going to be a very different looking attack, certainly centrally, for Arsenal next season. We know that. But they're on the right track. There's still pieces of the jigsaw to go. You can't close the gap on a team like Liverpool just overnight like that by clicking your fingers. There's so much work that needs to be done. Arsenal have done a lot of that work, and they've done very, very well. But we know there is plenty more work to be done, and we saw that yesterday, ultimately by the result. But plenty of reasons to be positive, as I'm sure many of you will agree with me. Okay, player ratings time. Let's finish with that, shall we? As I said, I didn't have time to do them after the game last night, so here's what I've gone for. I've gone Aaron Ramsdale 6. I thought Ramsdale, obviously, look, it was a mistake for the first goal. I'm not going to sit here and absolutely hammer him because he's been so good for Arsenal since he arrived, but he should have kept it out. He's beaten at his near post. He shouldn't have been beaten at his near post, and it was a real crucial moment. Like I said, at one end, Alisson was world class, kept his side in it. At the other end, Ramsdale makes a mistake, and then it's a long way back for Arsenal. I thought, other than that, he did pretty well, to be honest. I thought his distribution was decent. He tried to get Arsenal moving at times, but ultimately, it was his big mistake. So I'm going to give Ramsdale a 6. I thought Cedric played pretty well. Again, yes, he got caught out of position for the second goal, but look, he'd committed to getting down the wing, trying to get on the end of Bukayo Saka's pass. I'm not going to hammer him either for sort of taking the brave option of trying to get away. Ultimately, again, it cost Arsenal because the space was there and Liverpool exploited it. But maybe Saka's pass should have been better in the first place, or his clearance should have been better in the first place. So Cedric, I'm going to give a 6. The two centre backs, I'm going to give 7s. Cedric, I'm going to give a 7. Gabriel and White, I'm going to give a 7. I thought both of them, did pretty well. Gabriel maybe was a little bit sluggish for the second goal, but it was really good movement from Firmino, a great finish as well. I'm going to give them a 7. Tierney, 7 as well. Same for Xhaka, actually. So lots of 7s in this one, because I did think Arsenal performed well. I didn't think they were poor. Thomas Partey gets an 8 for me, and Partey in the first half was absolutely exceptional. This was like Partey's performance against Manchester City on New Year's Day. Showed he is more than capable of going up against the very, very best. I mean, on one hand, Liverpool, for me, the man of the match last night was Fabinho. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. He snuffed Odegaard out the game completely. You could tell that Liverpool knew that Odegaard was Arsenal's big threat, and Fabinho just sat on him. He closed down that space in front of the back four, and he just did not let Odegaard dictate the game, and that took a lot away from Arsenal's attack. He was brilliant. But having said that, I thought for Arsenal, Thomas Partey was right up there, very, very close to Fabinho's standards with his performance. I thought he was fantastic, especially in that first half. He was brilliant. So Thomas Partey gets an 8. Bukayo Saka, I'm going to give a 6. It did look, especially in the first half, that ball over the top for Saka to get him behind Robertson was going to be Arsenal's sort of best chance of getting something out of the game. He faded in the second half, looked a bit tired, as he has done recently, to be honest. So I'm going to give Saka a 6. Odegaard, I'm going to give a 5. He just wasn't really in the game. He had that big chance. He didn't take it. And other than that, like I said, Fabinho, who was absolutely brilliant, just won that battle in the in that sort of area of the pitch. So Odegaard gets a 5. Martinelli, he gets an 8 from me as well. Same as Thomas Partey, but Martinelli's my Arsenal man of the match. I thought he was just showed so much courage, maturity. Was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I thought electric at times. He gets an 8. Lacazette for me gets a 6 as well. Worked hard as he always does, Lacazette, but wasn't given a sniff by the brilliant Liverpool centre backs. Maybe could have done better when he got on the end of that back pass, but I did think Alisson played that situation very, very well, the way he stayed on his feet, and then Lacazette didn't panic, and he did pick out Odegaard and pick out a really good chance for Arsenal with it. Unfortunately, Odegaard didn't take it, so Lacazette gets a 6. So Ramsdale 6, Cedric 7, Gabriel 7, White 7, Tierney 7, Xhaka 7, Partey 8, Saka 6, Odegaard 5, Martinelli 8, and Lacazette 6. Martinelli, my Arsenal man of the match. Do you agree or not? Let me know. Comments below. Thank you for watching, everyone. Appreciate that. Don't be too downhearted today. Yes, it's a defeat. Yes, no one likes a defeat, but I hope you're like me, and there are certainly plenty of positives to take from that performance. I'll be back tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Mikel Arteta does have a press conference tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think it's at 10 AM in the morning, but I haven't had the final confirmation from Arsenal yet, so keep your eyes peeled from that, and keep your eyes on goal.com for all the latest Arsenal news as we now turn our attentions to Villa Park on Saturday. Have a great day.